So apart from the tax system, which is up to spout, our legal system is also a pile of shit. In this country, we once enjoyed the whole thing of being trialled by your peers, innocence until proven guilty. That's been taken away, majority of it being taken away by the EU under their new French system, which is guilty until proven innocent. And this certainly explains why they're now allowed to issue fines and so on without even taking you, or even really giving you the chance to go to court. But the main thing which is struck me is this Joe Yates case, which is unfortunately, obviously she was found dead, murdered on Christmas Day. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to fucking get hold of this geezer or woman who's done this and fucking string them up by their gonads, by their Jacobs, and fucking just generally kill them. However, this landlord, who was for over a week accused by the media of being the murderer, is actually is so far anyway at least innocent. He hasn't been charged with any crimes. He was questioned for the course of a week, and but there's no charges have come of it. Now, it's not really the government's fault or anyone's fault in particular, but the freedom of press is supposed to protect people from governments being able to have control of the people without their knowledge. However, what we see now is that the freedom of press is used as an excuse just to make slander and libel and false accusations, whilst those politicians and so on are backed by the mass media. And I think it's so wrong when you have a system where in the mass media where they report on someone who hasn't even been charged or arrested for a crime as though they're already guilty. And it just begs the question, how on earth can a jury give a fair opinion when for the past few months they've had this guy in their face, and at least on a subconscious level you're always thinking, oh, this guy's guilty because the Sun says so, which is obviously not the case. And I just think there should be some kind of change to the way in which papers can report on ongoing cases, and also the police for even telling the story or telling what was going on to the paper so early on. A nice one as well for the liberty in this country, or freedom. A man who's been convicted of helping other motorists. This gallant man who flashed another driver coming on the other way to warn them of a speed trap, was then arrested, and then the Crown Prosecution Service has thought it was a valuable use of time and money and an honourable decision to go after this guy with all guns blazing and convict him, and he's now got a criminal record and had to pay a fine. Not a very large fine, but in principle he's been arrested for warning other people of a crime they could commit. This is most worrying in terms of what it means to society in general, as this appears to be more of a arm flexing move by the legal establishment to assert their dominance over us. Sort of a, don't you dare try and help other people, don't you dare stick up for yourself, we're in control. Which is the case, unfortunately, because all the opinions of the lesser people seemingly count for nought in the realms of the elite, if you like. Earlier last year you had on Remembrance Parade, you had those fucking bastard Muslims burning the poppies, and the ones who were arrested, you can bet it wasn't them lot, was it? It was us. Some men ran over to try and stop them from burning them, and one of them ended up hitting a copper because he was standing and protecting the Muslim. I say hats off to the guy who hit the copper. I say the copper was a fucking knob, and he should not be in a position of power in this country when he is at whims, at the odds of every other normal, common-sensed person in the country. And this moves on to another important fact of migration. Migration's been a big issue for fucking ages, and I'm sure a majority of the people who've befriended me will be very against it. Migration is bad for everyone, even the people who come here, as it is essentially slave labour. They were brought here to reduce the minimum wage, to make sure everyone was on a fucking flat rate, so I can't, you can't, they can't ever get out of the poverty system, the poverty level, breadline. They use this old maxim, oh, the English won't do it. Well, they will. I wouldn't mind doing strawberry picking or working in a pizza place. However, you've got to pay me a decent wage for doing it. If I'm doing something I don't particularly want to do, like cleaning out sewers, I expect to be given a decent wage. Now, this in the system, I keep saying system, I do apologise, but I can't think it was fucking late at night and I can't think of anything else to say. I've had shit night's sleep. Yeah, this entire way of thinking, it just conveniently fits the globalist agenda also of basically breaking up the cultural values of that country and bringing a globalist a state with the EU and the rest of the world. It just annoys me how they keep going on about how, oh, you're racist if you don't like immigration. A lot of the the old migrants, should I say, don't want the new migrants either. This country is getting too crowded. They keep building houses left, right and centre. It's not the whites, dare I say it, that are having all the children, it's everybody else. We're, as a race, declining, whilst every other fucker is increasing. So it's not that we're being racist, it's just the simple fact that we cannot support this level of population. We don't have enough land to grow our own food anymore. We don't have enough land to build enough houses. It's getting beyond a joke. And when they do build more houses, like they are in my area in the South End, they don't ever give any consideration to additional schools, doctor surgeries, hospitals, you name it. The needed facilities aren't there to cope with the demand. Moving swiftly on, because I'm managing to ramble on for fucking ages and ages and ages. EU, I've already mentioned, obviously costing 118 billion a year to the UK. Aside from the staggering cost, this is something we can actually beat if we can get enough people to actually say something about it. The vast majority of people do not want to be in the EU, so therefore, if we can somehow sort out a well-reaching petition, we may be able to get this sorted out. If we don't, then we may as well just give up with this country altogether and just admit that we are part of the EU and just say that we're in the United Federal European States or some bollocks, whatever they're trying to build. There's no point of these divisional arguments between English, Scots, Wales and Ireland. Because at the end of the day, we don't have our own country either, so what's the point in arguing? Yeah, so many Scottish and Irish and Welsh who say, oh, we don't like the English and that. The English are suffering just as bad as you are. In fact, the English have always suffered just as bad as everybody else. You know, we've always been under the rule of the aristocracy since the Norman invasion. So whoever tells you that the English people are the oppressors is fucking bollocks. We're all being oppressed. Although I, in theory, support the Queen, I think she's and the rest of them have certainly neglected their subjects in that they fail to even suggest that we're on a poverty line and that we have many problems which they aren't willing to deal with. or at least speak in favour of us for. So yes, EU, we need to get out. Please help us. Write a petition yourself. And what I'm going to say next is the future things, which may or may not happen. Will have a risk of happening at least. The world economy may go down the pan this year. The dollar's supposed to be getting weak again and may collapse. Just out of interest, all these gold, we pay cash for gold incentive companies, do not buy into them, because the whole reason for them being there is to take away any money which the country still has. Basically what they're doing is those companies have got contracts with gold smelting companies. Those companies then smelt the gold down into bullion, and that's going off to China for more fiat loans, which are created out of thin air. So we owe even more money to China. So yeah, cash for gold, not good. So apart from the dollar, I said that I'm reading off a piece of paper, just notes by the way. I have been talking without notes. Although I don't believe in man-made global warming, future droughts and weather changes, floods, etc. are going to continue to have more increase on our food production and clothing as well. So that means more expensive food and probably more immigration, world immigration, not just to us but just generally everywhere. Basically the world population is getting too high and we aren't able to support the amount of people. So yeah, that's my little rant anyway. Welcome to 2011. You can catch my blog. I've just started writing a regular-ish blog. I'll give the link below. And thank you for listening. Basically, hope you have a good and successful year. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. Thank you very much. Goodbye.